Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. We'll give it some time as usual. You guys can start asking the question right away, not a problem. Today we're gonna do player review, Q&A question, of course. We're also going to look at TOS because TOS betting for my server and a lot of server is going to start today. So we're going to take a look at that. If you have any question when it comes to how to set the bet, when to bet, how to bet properly, why is it important to do it every day, you can always ask me. When it comes to TOS itself, my group is pretty strong, so I'm probably not going to pass. There's a lot of strong players in this group. All right, so one question already. Let's get started. So you have a march of Alex, YSS, Quinn, Himiko, and your question is having Himiko better or Zeno? Honestly, I think it depends on your skills. The issue with Himiko is without a red skill, she is not the best immortal, given a few reasons. First, you must use Fighting Master on her if you are going to have her as a damage dealer. But Himiko, when you look at her kit, one of the main problem she has is her low energy. The low energy is not fixable unless you really have energy mastery. So what you want to do is, if you have a red skill, Himiko is definitely better than Zenobia. If you don't have a red skill for her, you have two options. You can use your Zenobia a little bit more as a support, and then you are not going to need your Himiko. Sorry, you use your Himiko a little bit more like a support alongside Quinn, and then you don't need Zenobia. But it's not a major upgrade, I would say. I can give you a few examples. I'm still testing it out on one of my other accounts. Let me find it so you can take a look at what I mean. I don't know where it is. There it is. So right now, as you can see, this is the march that you have minus the Himiko. The Himiko is here. The Himiko is 50 dust. She's not fully specialized yet. That's why I have not put her in my main team yet. But I did test her at 7 specialization, and she is not doing as well as my Zenobia. However, my Zenobia is almost maxed out, right? She's not only 8, she has a lot of the smaller nodes maxed out as well. So I think it's going to be closer to test once she is 8 and some of the smaller nodes also maxed out. But I won't use these skills. I would use a formation a little bit closer to this one here. Instead of Khan, it would be a Himiko. But I would use my Himiko with a little bit more a support build. The reason why this is still decent is Himiko is going to provide the crowd control and bring somebody in the enemy team in the realm. You still have the healing cancel from the Quinn because you're going to run Quinn and Himiko. I do think Zenobia and Himiko can also work, but I think Quinn is just so strong because there's healing everywhere. I prefer Quinn and Himiko personally, but again, I wouldn't run her, at least for now. I need to test a little bit more as a damage dealer. Welcome guys, by the way, happy to see you here. Let me finish this question here. So Sarah, if you have any other more question, let me know. Sahara, I think personally Himiko is a good addition. It's a little bit of a buff from Zenobia, but without red skill, it's not major buff. There's another question here. Athena, Toku, Genghis, and Tio with a lightning dragon. Would that be a good team? It would be a decent team for sure. The issue I have with that is I think it's quite expensive for what you get. Let me explain. So you mentioned, let me go here. You mentioned a Lightning Dragon, a Toku. Oh, I can do it because they're in. Let me do it here. So you have the Lightning Dragon, you have the Toku, you have a Tina, then you have Theodora and Khan. I think it is a very strong team. If you get a red skill on Khan, you need at least energy mastery. Again, Khan is very similar to Himiko when it comes to the main problem of this immortal, and it's their energy regen, which is a little bit too low. Now, what the issue I have with this March is this is not cheap. You have one King of the Hill immortal, so this is pretty easy to do if you only do one. Tokyo won't be a problem. You have one Chaos. It is a discounted Chaos when it comes to the seasonal event, so not the most expensive. It's decent. You have one Olean Shadow and you have Khan. The way I see it is this March is going to be extremely good against physical damage, but will struggle against magical damage. Athena is overall way better against physical damage than magical. It's the same thing with your Toku. Toku is way better against physical damage than against a magical team. So your team is going to be quite strong, very strong against Alex. I don't think Alex much should be able to beat you. It's going to be very strong. But you will struggle against Himiko, Loki, for sure. Wu even, you'll struggle. What I think would be a good option here, first, it depends on what you have currently. If you already have some of these pieces, of course, build around the pieces that you already have. But I think Athena is a very, very good get. You don't have to change it. Here, what I might do is if you can, because you haven't worked on neither Toku or Theo, I would actually do Bjorn instead of Theodora. I would put Bjorn into my front line with my Athena, and I would do another immortal as the support. You can think of Matilda. Matilda could be a good option. It's the same cost because you replace a King of the Hill with a King of the Hill immortal, and you replace a Oli with a Shadow. This would be, in my opinion, a little bit better than this current setup. Let me just put back here. All right. Another question here. I have a Fire March, Wu, Ippo, YSS, and Quinn. Who should I get as an upgrade? I'm free to play. So you have option, of course, Trajan, Matilda, or somebody else. Let me just do it here. Right now you have Wu, you have Quinn, you have Hippo, and who's the last one? YSS. Right, so this is your current March. YSS is very flexible, good in almost all team, but the one team that YSS struggle a little bit is actually with fire. The reason is YSS only provides defense, but fire team excel at doing a lot of damage quickly. Now, I do think YSS is a better immortal than Hippo, so in my opinion, you have two options. You already mentioned them. Trajan is a good option to replace Hippo, or you can replace Matilda for your Queen. I would focus on Trajan first. The reason is if you have a wolf carry, Trajan is almost essential. Trajan damage is really, boost is really good for your Wu. It brings everything you need for your Wu. I think it's essential to have a Trajan in a strong fire team. Where is my Trajan? Oh, there it is. So here, you're going to get the crit rate, the damage rate as well, and with the artifact, even better crit chance. This is everything your Wu wants. If you're running infinite firepower example on your Wu, even better. I really think you cannot get away with, if you want a very strong fire team, without Trajan. So my recommendation to you is Trajan first. If you want to do something a little bit different, or you want to, after Trajan, change something else, then it would be your Queen. If you change your Queen, Matilda would be a good option. Or if you want to invest a little bit more, Ninetale would be a very good option. But again, you're free to play. Ninetale is going to be too long, too expensive for you. I would go for Matilda. So Trajan first, finish him, do Matilda after. Oh, and you also, no, I think this is another March, another player. Yeah, so there's another fire team here asking about their team. They have a Bjorn, Trajan, Matilda, Wu. Very, very strong team. Bjorn, a little bit more expensive than YSS. Definitely better than YSS. For a fire team, even more. I would say the cheapest version of Bjorn for a fire team is going to be Ragnar. Here, Bjorn is a little bit better in my opinion, but not that much, because this guy here on fire team is actually very good. Now, you add another question with that. I'm looking to create a glass cannon march. Would it be efficient to put spell disintegrator on Matilda? So I've seen a lot of march with spell disintegrator, either on a tank or on a support, and I've seen some work, some not work as well. The reason is, if you want to do a new team, spell disintegrator is going to give you a decent debuff, but personally I think they're better debuff than that. There are, especially if you're running a Trajan and Bjorn, you already have a lot of damage that comes out of these two tank. Can give you a few examples of skills that actually would probably do you better than spell disintegrator on the support. But it very simple. If you don't have Rage Blessing, I don't think the spell disintegrator is all that much better than just Rage Blessing on a fire team. You go first, you do a lot of damage quickly with your fire team. Rage Blessing is very undervalued, especially for fire team. Then there's also a skill that I think only really works for fire team, and non-boss, spider, elemental boss. But where is it? This one here. Fear of Domination is not the best skill. Don't get me wrong. But Fear of Domination is actually quite good on fire team, because you will get to the enemy getting to 50% threshold quite rapidly, because you're a burst state team. You will get bursts as well, but you will get them to 50% quite quickly. So it will apply very, very quickly. So that is another option. But I personally don't really like Spell Disintegrator on my support. If anything, maybe more on your tank. It's just for the debuff. You're not looking for the damage. Your Wu already has a Abundant Heavy Lifter. I think that's already a good combo. You can keep that for Wu. Again, if you want to go further, the only skill you really need to make that team extremely strong is going to be Infinite Firepower. One second, I skip a question here. Beside KVK, where can you get Assembly Charge? Nowhere. You need to get Assembly Charge from the KVK shop. Unless they change it, but I don't think they did. Abundant Spirit and Assembly Charge are here. I think maybe even Unforeseen Attack. I can confirm for you. Let me just go on a mini account that I don't have the skills, and I'll look at the wish shop because the wish up, the way it works is if you already unlock the skill, it's no longer available in your shop. So yeah, you see here, you don't have a Buddha Spirit, you don't have fully unforeseen attack, and you don't have assembly charge. They are only available in the KVK shop. I'm gonna confirm again real quickly. Yeah, these 3 skills are not available here. Go back on my main. All right, so next question here. I need to monitor this as well. Okay. So, sorry, continuing my question. Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of the question when it comes to the Quinn, YSS, Zenobia, and Himiko March. Okay, so if your Alex has Cleave Combo Blade Vortex, I really think you need to get Assembly Charge. We just talked about the skill. It's in the KVK shop. Assembly Charge is extremely good, guys. It's the best skill on Alex other than Red Skill. There's no debating it. Assembly Charge is going to give you the best damage. Blade Vortex is okay on Alex, but it's not the best anymore. It used to be one of the best. I don't think it is anymore. I'll show you why. Alex excel at normal attacks. There's a lot of skill in this game that are going to go off based off normal attack. Example, Assembly Charge. Assembly Charge is each normal attack. Cleave is each normal attack. But if you put something like Blade Vortex on your Alex, it's not that it's a bad skill. It's that the synergy is not as good. Because now you switch to a skill that will trigger every 12 seconds. But Alex is going to give you more normal attack than one every 12 seconds. And the chances are your skill that you're going to put instead of Blade Vortex is going to trigger at least more than once every 12 seconds. That is why Blade Vortex is no longer the best skill on Alex. Cleave, Wind Rage, Assembly Charge is the best combo on him. When it comes to your YSS, Oken, Guard, and Resist is okay. I would probably remove either Oken and Resist and put Fighting Master on there. Unless you put it on your Himiko, depending on how you do your Himiko. But again, Oken, Resist, it's okay. Be careful you're fighting. Might want to remove one of the two. Now, this is where I would change things a little bit. So you have a Quinn with Assist. It really depends on who you're pairing him with. If it's Himiko, but you're using support skill on your Himiko, you probably don't want to lose a skill slot on your Quinn by using Assist. You don't need to side assist your Himiko in this case because your Himiko is not meant to do damage. Your Himiko is meant to be a crowd control with their skill by bringing somebody in the void and then support your Alex, which is going to be doing the most damage. Don't use assist in that case. Even if your Himiko dies a little bit earlier than she would, it's okay. If you want to use assist, then you need your Himiko with Fighting Master, Energy Mastery, probably Corrosive Power. If you cannot go with Red Skill or Corrosive Power, it can be a Buddha Spirit and Spell Disintegrator. It can be Annihilation and Concentration. But I do think Himiko, without this skill here, will struggle to carry. Alex is a better carry than Himiko without this skill here. Let me go back here. So if you already have many shards of Tokyo and Matilda, just go for Tokyo and Matilda. The one thing though, for Tokyo, if you pair it with, I think you were the one pairing it with Athena, you have to be careful. You're going to have to probably get Resist and maybe Master Aegis. Let me see where I have my Master Aegis. I don't have it here. Let me just do a support. There we go. You're going to need this skill, in my opinion, because your team with Toku and Athena is very strong against physical damage, but will struggle against magical. This will help a little bit by reducing the magical damage taken by your allies, so your team. Athena, guys, is a very good immortal. I really like her. I started working on her a few months ago. Now it's the 4th seasonal event that I work on her slowly. And I fully do not regret my choice, at least now. For now, I really think Athena, for low spender, even for free to play, is a very, very good project. Number one, she is going to immune your whole team to serious wounding. The best thing for free to play and low spender is a Quinn, is a Khan. They are everywhere. Athena works wonder against them. On top of that, Athena is also very good against Alex, and Alex is everywhere. So Athena is a very good get. Another good reason why I prefer Athena a little bit over Loki is because Athena is cheaper for most free-to-play and light spender to reach a decent level under Athena. Number one, Athena does not need this to be maxed out. Does not need this to be maxed out. I'm going to leave this at 1. I'm going to do this to 5 slowly. And I'm already working on this as well to 5. Once these two are to 5, my Athena is basically finished when it comes to specialization. When it comes to the dust level, similar thing. An Athena at 20, as you can see, she's only 20, is going to do quite decent. At 20, she's in my main team. I don't really worry about her portrait being too low. Yes, it's not the highest. Yes, I would like her to be 30, 40. But at 20, she's already performing quite well. Loki at 20 is going to struggle a little bit more. Loki also needs these smaller nodes here and here to be higher. So he will cost you more. It will take you longer. Still a good option, but I really like Athena. So if you want to compare Athena and Fufei, I think they're both great options. The issue with Athena, we just talked about her, is going to be for free-to-play and light spender or artifact. You will need, if you want to use her special artifact, to play Rune Factory. Right? You will have to do Rune Factory. As a free-to-play, you use your gem, you buy the gem bundle. Slowly, you're going to get to an artifact for Athena. But you still have a problem because you cannot get these. Second here. When you're here, you want to upgrade, any artifact is going to ask you for these sun crystal. Let me do one here and the lower one. But a chaos artifact is a different set of currency to upgrade from bronze to silver to gold. And that currency is only in these bundles. You can find them here. And as a free-to-play player, you will not be able to get them. As a light spender, it will take some time. You can get them. It is definitely worth it. But again, this is one of the problems for Athena. Fu Fei, because the artifact is also currently discounted, then she is a little bit cheaper. You can go with the artifact for Athena here. You will pay the full price. It doesn't feel good, but you might have to do it with Rune Factory as well. I think they're both good options. It really depends on your team. If you have a Xeno, Quinn, YSS, Alex, I do think Athena is actually a better option to you than Fu Fei. Why? Because Fu Fei, you're going to replace Zenobia with your Fu Fei. At the end of the day, she's only giving you immunity, but your Alex is already immune to crowd control. He is your main carry. You don't need a Fu Fei with him. Yes, it's going to be better, but it's not the best upgrade. Your healing probably still going to be canceled because you don't have Athena. Your Zenobia healing was canceled. Well, your Fu Fei healing is also going to be canceled without Athena. So in my opinion, light spender, I think Athena is a better upgrade for the YSS Xeno Quinn Alex March. I hope I'll answer your question. If you have anything, just let me know. Welcome, guys, by the way, those that are joining now. So for TOS, yeah, I can show you the group. This is my group here. So very hard. I don't think I'm going to make it. So Hina is extremely strong. She is a low-key user, but a 50 dust, very high spec low-key. 3 red skill here, 1 red skill here, 50 dust Anubis, 50 dust Fu Fei, 2 red skill here. She's extremely strong. Lord Mora is like extremely strong as well. 9 tail, low key 50 dust, 2 red skill, 3 red skill. Plugin, I know he's pretty strong as well. Most of the time I lose to him, but it's not 100% loss, so we'll have to see. But he's stronger than me. Julian is extremely strong as well. Medusa player here, 50 dust, very strong. Kai, I don't remember. I have to look. It's a little bit tougher to tell because right now he only has win. So Loki at 21, it's definitely lower. You can tell here by looking at the power, it's not as strong. But he does have 3 red skill. Athena, quite decently done. Fu Fei, 3 red skill here. So definitely strong as well. And then you have Snoopy on my server as well. Currently working on a Medusa, so it depends where Medusa is going to be once I fight him, but this Medusa is going to be very strong soon, so not easy. Yeah, we will do the betting later on, so we're gonna do it on live. Go back here, make sure I didn't miss any question. Okay, so Lord Winston, you use Rage Blessing. Yes, Rage Blessing for Fire Team, extremely good. Fear of Domination is a decent skill for Fire Team. I do like it, but it wouldn't be my priority, right? It depends on what other skill you have. But if you look at all these very strong players, they all have a Fear of Domination somewhere. Even if it's not for the Fire Team, it is extremely good against non-boss, elemental domain, spider. Basically, when you fight the spider, right? Like the spider is not here yet. But if you wait for your server to bring the spider down to 50% and then you do your attack, you're guaranteed for Fear of Domination to trigger. You start the battle and the boss is already at 50%. So this is very good. It is very good for Elemental Domain as well because the way Elemental Domain works, a lot of these boss have this here. When HP below 50%, damage taken reduced by 20%. So Fear of Domination gives you a little bit of a boost to try and counter this passive that the boss get. So overall, it is a skill that is quite used, but not as used in PvP other than Fireteam. So here we have Zenus running a Alex, Loki, Anubis. Red skill all around. I don't know which one, but probably Fully Prepared, Knife Through Butter, Divine Blessing, Life Protection, Fountain of Life, Infinite Firepower, Energy Mastery, so all the shebang. Nine Tails would probably be my pick. Honestly, I did Fu Fei, and I ranked Fu Fei in my very old rank tier list for Chaos over Ninetale. But that was when Ninetale did not add the buff she received a few months ago. And before Ninetale became so popular, and a lot of the skills became better for Ninetale than for Fu Fei. I still really like my Fu Fei. If I was able to trade 1-for-1 right now for the same value, I get exactly the same Ninetale, I would actually do that right now. I would trade my Fu Fei for a Ninetale of the same portrait level, artifact, spec right now. I would do it. Why? She gives, in my opinion, better buffs to almost everybody. And the only thing that you lose is going to be corrosive power or infinite firepower on your Loki. Or in my case, on my Himiko. It does not matter. The rest that Ninetale is going to give you is going to be okay. In your case, even more because you're using Alex in the front line. In the Tina, Alex, I already mentioned it. Your Alex does not need Fu Fei. Sorry, not Tina. But Fu Fei, Alex, not the best synergy. You see a lot of players doing it. It's just because it's still good. But Ninetale is actually better, in my opinion. The places where Fu Fei is still better, in my opinion, is when you have Poseidon. Poseidon, not the best carry at the moment, but Poseidon with a Fu Fei, Athena, and Tio is still extremely strong. There's a player in 36. I saw her somewhere here. Sky Lady. So Lady that uses a Poseidon. It is still a very strong March. You see here, she has Fu Fei, Quinn. Now here, if she had the Tina, it would be even better. And the problem with Poseidon at the moment is not that he is weak, is that the skill meant for him are just not there. If he had better red skill meant for Poseidon, Poseidon would be a way better carry. Let me go to the next question. Sorry guys, there's a lot of questions, so I'm doing them one at a time. Bear with me here. Nick, I have a question. I want to change my main Marsh to Queen, Khan, YSS, Bjorn. I have a Max Earth Dragon. Should I change to Lightning Dragon to use solo Khan carry? So here I have a question for you, Zor. Before I answer this question, what is your current March? Is it because you're currently using Alex in your main March? Because if that's the case, I'm not 100% sure that you want to switch to a Queen Khan YSS Bjorn. First, Queen and Khan together, okay, not the best synergy. You have anti-healing twice. And if you're thinking that this March is going to carry harder than an Alex, you have to tell me that you have at least corrosive power, energy mastery. If you don't, your Khan is never going to carry as hard as your Alex. So let me know that in the chat, and I'll finish this question once I see your reply. So if I'm a free-to-play, what skill should I use for YSS Alex Quinzino? I can give you a good setup here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to use some of my accounts that I have here. So here, this is a mini account that I have. Mini, I mean, I've been playing for a long time, so it's not so mini. Now, don't look at this, because this one here is when I kill non-boss. And because TOS is now gone and done, I'm just holding combo all the time so I can kill non-boss level 20 easier. But this is cleave. So for Alex, you want to run assembly charge, wind rage, and cleave. If you want another option, you could always replace your wind rage with berserker, or you can replace your wind rage with combo until you get wind rage. But wind rage is very good on Alex. I think it's a little bit better than berserker even. So berserker, cleave, wind rage is the best combo on Alex when we're talking about free to play. For your YSS, I personally really like this setup. I like the Fighting Master on my YSS because Alex doesn't need it. My support does not need it as much. Here, I want to make sure that my YSS survive a little bit longer because he has guard. This is going to protect him a little bit from the 10% reduced damage taken. And you have to remember, it's not because you're fighting, example here, a similar march with Alex, Quinn, YSS, that they have zero crowd control. That's not true. First, they're going to have this here, which is going to trigger on your YSS. No escape is a very good skill. Almost everybody should have it. And then you also have to remember that cavalry as a research, I need to remember exactly where it is. I think it's the troop. So here, your cavalry can have a chance of stunning. So you're fighting an Alex, you're fighting a YSS. There's a chance that your YSS gets stunned from this here. So having Fighting Master on my Alex, on my YSS, is something that I really like to do. I do it on almost all my account that I don't have a backline carry, because I honestly think Fighting Master should almost be on everybody first team. Almost everybody. Maybe not because you have a Fufei. Even then, sometimes I put it on my Fufei team. It's just one of the best skill, and it's a purple skill. When it comes to the rest, let me go back. Tiny. Here, you want a setup similar to this on your Quinn. Now, Spring of Life, extremely good, even though healing is often canceled. What is really good about this one is if you get the healing, you will get the increase, and more importantly, you will get the defense taken increase as well. So Spring of Life, extremely good. Energy Shield, extremely good, even more because you're an Alex and you will be playing against this skill here. Energy Shield is going to help you a lot more with a Earth team than a Fire team, because this is a time-sensitive trigger skill, and the longer the battle goes, the better Energy Shield becomes. This one here, overall, very, very good. I like this skill. For free-to-play, I really highly value this skill. It's always on my main or second team. And then for Zenobia, No Escape is a must on this team. Berserk is very good. I still use it, especially if you match Berserk and Spring of Life. It's very good. And then you can do Vitality's Touch. You can do Purification. You can do Oaken Guard, Resist, depending on who you're fighting. One skill I would stay away that I see very often, though, is Wine and Dine. So, Wine and Dine, where is it? Wine and Dine is a skill that I don't think is all that good. If you have an Athena, go for it. If you don't have an Athena, I think this is not a very strong skill. And it's the same with Shelter. Where's Shelter? might be used somewhere. Okay, here. Shelter, Wine and Dine, very similar. You need protected healing from the Athena skill for these skills to be relevant at all. Hope this answers your question. You can also ask on the Discord, by the way, and I could always send you a screenshot of these skills. Sorry, guys, I need to go back on the questions here. All right, so where am I at now? My setup is Trojan, Weakening Curse, Art of Arcana, No Escape. That's Winston again. Okay, Bjorn, War, Bless, Energy, Suppression, Weakness, Assist, Rage, Bless, Can Resist, Heavy. So your setup is extremely good. I don't think you really need Fear of Domination. I think it's a very strong setup. The only thing with this fire team that worries me a little bit is the ceiling of the Wu damage. Because you have to have to equip Fighting Master on your Wu, and you don't have to equip Fighting Master on an Alex, your Wu is limited to only 2 damage skill, and this is the ceiling that she has. The only way to improve that, as you put it in the chat, is going to be infinite firepower. Without that increase, you've hit, I think, the ceiling of the free-to-play setup for your team. I don't think you can do anything else to really improve it other than researches, if they're not maxed on boost, if they're not maxed on dust. And then you're going to have to start thinking about a chaos immortal at some point, in my opinion, from the seasonal event, from Rune Factory, as a free to play. Yes, it's going to take longer, but the problem with that fire team is there's not really a most optimal chaos immortal except Ninetale, but Ninetale is going to cost you a lot as a free to play. I don't think you should go with the Ninetale if you're a free to play until and if she becomes at 50% at some point. Paying the full value for a Ninetale in the seasonal shop feels so bad. As a free to play, I think it feels so bad. You have to stick with one of the 4 immortal here, or 9 Fu Fei at the moment. Fu Fei with your team, it's not going to be the best upgrade. Ninetale is way better. You could always do it. The only reason is because you would be able to bring another skill on your Wu, but it becomes a little bit inconsistent. The problem with Fu Fei and Wu, if you're a free-to-play player, is your Fu Fei is never going to be max, so you will run into a situation where your Wu would actually get CC'd before the skill from Fu Fei applies to your Wu. So I think you have a very good setup. I think at this point, Infinite Firepower is your best upgrade. I have a player here. Yes, Rune Factory is so good. The newest version of Rune Factory is extremely good. I did a video on this event here. Don't get tricked. I really think Rune Factory is still way better even for Aeolian and Shadow. I really think that this event is going to be tweaked a little bit soon because the value is not there at the moment. Here I have someone, one of the members, shout out. So what would be the recommendation for best cost efficiency for Ninetale shards? Is going to be Rune Factory. So I'm someone that really like to be as efficient as possible in a lot of things in this game, for sure. And I can give you where I spend to get my current immortals. It's going to give you an idea of how much I deserve. I split my focus while keeping in mind not to start too many projects. So here what I did. I work at the moment on this chest only for my Athena. Why? She is extremely cheap compared to any other places in the seasonal event. I don't want to do Rune Factory for her, because when you look at the shop for Rune Factory, or if you look at the Battle Pass, which is the same, all of these immortal available are exactly the same cost. Why would I go for Athena here when I can wait for the seasonal event? It's going to take me a little bit longer. Yes, I don't care. Same thing with Poseidon. Same thing with Loki. Same thing with Wukong. I don't recommend Wukong, but same thing with him as well. If you want to do any of these 4 immortal as a free-to-play or light spender, you should focus the immortal shard only in the seasonal event. Even if it takes you 1 more month or 2 more months, you're going to be thankful later on, because you're going to have way more to work with, and you will get there at some point. For the artifact, you're going to do Battle Pass and Rune Factory for the artifact of these 4 immortal, but not the shards. So this is what I did. I did Rune Factory only for the artifact of my Athena. It's maxed out now. I'm doing the shards for my Athena in the seasonal event. I did Fufei before this was released, before the new seasonal event format with the discounted chest came around. The way I see Fufei, you can do a little bit of both, but the artifact you should get from the seasonal event. The shards, I would get them from the seasonal event as well. Why? Again, if you do Rune Factory, if you do Battle Pass, she is the same cost as Ninetale in Anubis. I started to work on Anubis. I am only doing Anubis in Rune Factory and Battle Pass. I will never buy him in the seasonal event. It is a loss of opportunity if I get him here. I can just go for 3 of these instead of 1 Anubis. Not worth it. If at some point I start working on, example, Medusa, I will only do Medusa from the seasonal event and the Chaos Wheel. It's only where you can get them. But I try to split where I work. I don't think a player should do Athena from the seasonal event, Rune Factory at the same time. I don't think the value is there for free to play. High spender doesn't really care, go for it. So for Ninetale, Rune Factory. And Battle Pass, of course. What time is it? Just gotta make sure. Okay. Yes. So here, Feed the Puppy says that Fear of Domination and Battle Stance is extremely good in Elemental Domain. It is. I also like Demonic Contract. Demonic Contract is a skill that is very good in Elemental Domain as well, against Spider as well, because the battle lasts very long. Actually, I haven't done that now that you mention it. So let me do this. The Lightning Day, I don't do a lot of damage, so I don't really bother with the setup. As you can see, I don't even have another backline. And this is really basic, no spec. No spec. I only have my Khan, but he's going to die very quickly, so I'm just going to run it. So 45%, not too bad. I don't think I can get to the 50%. We can try. So as you saw quickly, I used the crit build, but I just realized it's the anti-crit boss, so this was useless. I always use this one, even though it's almost useless, but I have so many, why not? But I don't use the defense and the attack as much, because these two, you don't generate as much. You need to buy or send it from your farm. So this I only use when I actually fight in KVK or sometime in TOS. So it didn't reach, it's fine. So need to do this real quick. So I know a lot of players in Elemental Domain likes to try and rank the highest. I'm a little bit too lazy for that. I just set up my team like this. Put the War Talent, pop the boost, and just attack. If you want to perform very well, what you actually want to do is you're going to give your best skill to the team that you're using, and then you're going to swap your skill to the other team. So example, I have a few red skill. I would always use my red skill no matter who I'm attacking with. It's fine. I don't really mind. A little bit lazy on that. Welcome, guys. If you just join, I see a few. Hello, welcome. So can I tell you which is the best skill for Hippo? So Hippo, there's two kind of Hippo. There's a damage Hippo and there's a utility Hippo. So for me, some of the best skill for Hippo is going to be full coverage because of our skill work. This unyielding is extremely good as well on Hippo. Our time to shine is good on Hippo. This is decent on Hippo. Adrenaline rush is good on Hippo. But my best recommendation, if you're running a Woo carry, is actually to do a Hippo that is more into utility than anything else. You have to remember my Hippo is on my third, maybe even fourth team. So she is not very utilized. I don't really care about how this team perform. Just need to put my YSS back. So my best skill for her, honestly, I think it's going to be something like weakness, malice. You need an aura, I think, on her because aura are very strong. Only one per immortal. You bring one on your Hippo. And then you do something like Fighting Will and Energy Suppression. Fighting Will is very good because it's going to give you some damage on your Hippo. And it's going to root them once you hit certain threshold. Every 20% drop of soldier, you will have a 45% chance to root the enemy. So that is very good. Still do a little bit of damage. I like that on Hippo. And then this one here, because even if she dies quickly, you're still going to get the value out of this skill. You can also do a little bit more protective setup, and you can give her something like Energy Shield, but I don't really like it. You're kind of trying to patch her, but you don't really want to. You want to make sure your carries gets all the love. So Fighting Will, Energy Suppression, very good. So which one is the skill for Poseidon? The best skill for Poseidon? I think this is the issue for Poseidon at the moment. I think there's only really one decent red skill, in my opinion. Last 10 is quite good on your Poseidon, but overall, last 10 is not my favorite skill. I don't really like the 70% threshold before you get anything out of it. But it's still a decent skill on your Poseidon. I've seen a lot of players use Battle Frenzy on Poseidon. It's okay. I think this is more of a utility skill. So if your only Chaos Immortal is a Poseidon, I don't think there's a lot of red skill here that you really want on your Poseidon. I've seen players do fully prepare on Poseidon. It's not the worst. The only reason you want to do it is because you will get at some point to the maximum value. It's going to take longer. You still get the buff, so it's still decent. But overall, you want something like Blade Vortex here and Executioner. But that's the issue, right? They're two gold skill. You're upgrading your immortals, example, your Alex into Poseidon, and you end up with 2 gold skill, maybe even 3, or maybe Fighting Master and 2 gold skill on your new Chaos Immortal. For free to play, low spender, this is okay, but you cannot do that as a higher spender, I would say. You cannot, example, replace your Alex with 2 red skill with a Poseidon without red skill. Your Alex is going to give you better value for sure. Yes, so the Feed a Puppy, I do think the best Poseidon setup is going to be double healer and Athena. Poseidon is, at the end of the day, going to do quite a lot of damage over time because of Executioner and Blade Vortex. And you have Athena, very good. You have Fufei and Theo to kind of sustain the march. In the past, that march was extremely countered by Flavius. Where is this? Flav here. Because you basically killed yourself against Flavius with double healer. But because there's no specialization, it's no longer working as well. Even if you do know you're going to fight a double healer with Athena, I don't think this guy is really going to perform all that well. So it is strong, double healer at the moment with Poseidon, but you still have the same issue. You still have Poseidon without red skill. I don't think if you have a Holy Dragon, if you have your two Chaos, you have one Holy in Shadow, I don't think the amount of money that you put into that march is going to be giving you the biggest value. You could have went with Loki, maybe even Medusa with 3 normal immortal. There's a lot of different options in my opinion. And that's my take on the Poseidon. I kind of like him. He is extremely good in open arena. I don't like the skill that you can put on him. So Zor replied here, he does not have Alex. So because you don't have Alex, you're currently using a fire team with Quinn Can, why says Bjorn, have a fire earth dragon already maxed. So yes, if you're running a Khan carry, solo carry, the lightning dragon is going to be better for sure. But yeah, I'm a little bit puzzled on that one because I do think Khan March are starting to struggle more and more. This is probably one of the best Khan March I've seen in a while. He's using the Earth Dragon. The Lightning Dragon I think will be a little bit better, but not all that much because the Earth Dragon is extremely good for sustain. But again, here with Khan, you run into a situation where you have one gold skill. It is a very good skill. You have a very good energy mastery skill. But if you don't have energy mastery skill, you have a Khan that has a energy regain not super high. I think you're going to run into a situation where you will be limited quite heavily with only Khan as your carry on damage. I'm not 100% sure it's going to work very well. I think it's going to be decent. I think you're going to do well against Alex as well because Alex will struggle against double tank. But it's not the best March because of the limitation on Khan. And Khan, if you want to do something like example, Blade Vortex and Executioner, it works on Khan, but it's not the best setup on a Khan. That would probably work better on Gilgamesh, Elise. But you don't have that, you have Khan. So, do you need to work on your Lightning Dragon? It would be a little bit better, but you don't need to really force it. Your Earth Dragon would be doing a fine job as well. For sure, Matilda for now. So Alex, why says Khan Matilda? I think it's already a little bit better. The reason is I think with only Khan you're missing a little bit of damage. Alex is going to fix that. The issue with Matilda and Alex is there's zero synergy there. Your Matilda is going to work with your Khan, but your Matilda is not going to give anything to Alex. So no energy on Alex, no ultimate damage on Alex. You need to be careful about that aspect though. So that's why if you do a Alex YSS Khan, I think there's better option than Matilda. For that last row, war talent. Is the requirement for one attack mage or both frontline? I need to. Jam, can you ask again? I don't really understand the question. For the last row, war talent. So here, this one here. Is the requirement for one attack mage for both frontline, backline? So I'm not sure I understand your question properly, but basically this is a chance, right? You need to fight a mage type. So here, example for this one here, if you're running against Zenobia Quinn, this is not going to help. Even if you're fighting a Louis example, it's not going to help. Here, if you're fighting a double tank, it wouldn't help neither. So if you're fighting an Alex, this is very good. If you're fighting me, example, with Bjorn and Athena, this won't give you anything, even if I had Khan in my backline. I can only have a Himiko anyway, but it wouldn't trigger if you don't have an attack, if I don't have an attack. Can you put no escape on Quinn? Yes, no escape go on everybody. You can put no escape on Quinn, Zenobia, you can put it on YSS. The reason why I don't put it on YSS or frontline most of the time is because your frontline, especially if you have Alex, is holding guard. So you want something else than no escape, in my opinion. This is why I would put it on my support. But if you're, example, running double tank, it could be on one or new tank. That's fine as well. Yes, this is the GT Arcade app. I really like the GT Arcade app for the game. I think it runs pretty smoothly. Sometimes at updates, it can be a little bit slow. But other than that, I really like it. You can also have access to multiple screen. Example, if you have two accounts, they're not linked together, you can actually open two screens and play both accounts at the same time if you would like to. All right, let me catch up here. The GT Arcade question was here. I have a full fire march with fire dragon. A max is better to focus on red skill next instead of building Alex to swap with Hippo. So I think this is a different kind of. I don't think this question really applies because red skill is going to be something that you need to buy with money. Basically, in the GT Arcade shop, you want to buy the $5 bundle as much as you can weekly, depending on your budget. And then you will be able to get to a red skill. Whereas Alex, you can always work on Alex through the market. You don't and you should not buy Alex with money at any point. Just work on him slowly in the market. And random shard, you'll get there. Alex can be maxed very quickly, quite easily. Don't put money on them. The only thing that you might want to buy early on is going to be this here. Well, I can't see it anymore, but there's a bundle here that lets you pick Alex. This is a very good get really early on. Other than that, no money on Alex, I would say. Alex would be a decent replacement for Hippo. Would he be the best? I don't think so. But if you do an Alex, you can always give him. I can give you my open arena set up here. So I'm running this, and I'm actually running this on Alex in open arena. Now this is not the best. I'm just testing it to see if it does anything. But usually I have cleave here. And this is actually going to turn Alex into a little bit of a crit monster because he is also with a fire team, a fire dragon. So you could try it, but replacing Alex with Hippo, the only reason it's better is because overall, I do think Alex is a better immortal. Yes, so somebody just answered you. Indeed, Bjorn, Ragnar are better replacement than Hippo. instead of Alex. Your Alex can be on your second team and can be the main carry for your second team. It's something I'm doing at the moment. My Himiko is my carry of my first team. My Alex is the carry of my second team. So you're already working on infinite firepower. It's going to fix your ceiling on your fire team Wu. If you go for either Fu Fei and Ninetale, it will be an upgrade. Now, depending on how much you're spending, Fu Fei is cheaper, for sure. But Ninetale is a better upgrade, in my opinion. Yes, I started doing videos only maybe a year ago, so even myself, like if I would start an account right away, there's a lot of mistake I wouldn't make. But what is important to understand in this game is even when you make mistakes, the only, I would say, big mistake that you cannot really get back at the moment is the Stardust and the Crimson Moonlight. Everything else, it's not the worst case scenario. Artifact, a little bit, especially if we're talking about Chaos Artifact. But other than that, at the end of the day, what you get is, if you make a mistake, an Immortal for your second team, a skill for your second team. Yes, it's going to slow your progress a little bit, but you're going to even out with time. Don't worry too much about making mistake. I think the biggest mistake that you can make is knowing that you're doing something not very good. Example, you're running a lightning team, fully lightning. You're struggling against earth, you're struggling against fire. You refuse to change to Alex or fire team or Merlin even. Lightning was very good early. It loses strength later on. I think these are the kind of mistakes that you should adjust, like make changes. Other than that, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I've made a lot of mistakes myself. I've had know that the seasonal event was at a discounted price for Chaos. Maybe I would not even have worked on Himiko. Maybe I would not have done Fu Fei. It's game change. It's normal. Flavius is a pay-to-win immortal. Only because you need to unlock him with money, and then you can max him in the market. So here you will see Flavius. Where is he? See him here? He is quite often there as well, so he is quite easy to max. But the issue is Flavius is not good anymore. Until they make changes to the purple and blue immortal, this is never going to happen. I made that recommendation. We'll see if it's going to happen. We don't know yet, but I would like to see a system where they kind of recycle the purple and blue immortal. It could be a awakening, something that allow them to have one more skill, essential if you want to play them. They need to have a Stardust system. At the moment, they only have the affinity. If you want to use this model, you have to have a Stardust system. I don't know if it's the same kind of Stardust. Could be another kind. You have to add specialization, and you would have to get a personal special artifact for them and maybe buff their skill a little bit. But for now, I think they're useless. They're just there to gather. Put XP on them and then reset them. They're really useless at the moment. You can't do anything. Look at the power here. 50k, and there's a skill on it. If I remove it, 37k. Whereas even like if I look at a model that has nothing, you will see here around the same. But then you can work on this here. It's going to give a lot of power. You have one more skill slot. You have a special artifact. The power will go way higher. Purple are useless at the moment. My Frost, we are fighting and struggling at the moment. Let me show you. So honestly, I think my Frost is really small fishes against whales. So basically here, we are red. We went towards Terra side. We dominated the map on this side. Terra has access. Terra is not currently an ally. We'll see if that change. We are working with blue, so Hydro. They went this side as well, occupied this side. Now, this is green, but this is 231. So 231 are extremely strong when it comes to whale power. It's the J brigade, so basically J, 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 J. And if you look at their team, they have maxed out team, right? Like this is like 40K team, $40K team. All right, so even Link here, and you keep going down. There's one more Medusa here. This is an Apollo March. A Loki here. And another Medusa. So when you look at the ranking, we are quite below 231. So it is a struggle. We're trying our best. We're having fun. We're fighting 231. They are the big bad dog in our server, our KVK. They are our enemy for sure. We'll see what happens. It will really come down when the gates open here, the zone 2 gates. Double healer at the moment. I don't think there's a lot of double healer March out there that really works. One of the March that, again, we'll have to let the whale test it, but I think Medusa is too strong to not do Medusa. But I would see something like double healer Ares and Tengu maybe being able to do some damage. But again, the moment they change Ninetale to their current form, Ninetale is way better with a carry. So double healer overall is just not the best synergy anymore. Which team is better? Alex, YSS, Khan, Zeno, or Quinn? I think they're very similar. So Quinn is an upgrade, in my opinion, to Khan, but it is not the biggest upgrade. One of the reasons why I consider it an upgrade is when you look at the Stardust and you put your Quinn to, example, 50 level of Stardust, so maximum portrait level, you get something that is more about protecting your Quinn. But when you do it on an attacking model and an archery model, you're getting damage and defense as well. So a 50 dust Khan will perform better than a 50 dust Quinn, in my opinion, even if you use your Khan as a support with support skill. That's a small upgrade to your March, but it is not huge. If you have access to red skill though, that changes the game completely. Because you can then give energy mastery and corrosive power to your Khan, but that's a different game. Okay, so I understand your question now. I don't think both needs to be. I think only one of them for the talent. It could be more of a traduction thing. I'm not sure, but it feels like if it was two, it becomes too hard to actually trigger. Nobody runs two major almost. Double attack, yes, a lot. Hybrid is a thing, but still, I don't think it's both. I would have to test it. Because what happens is when you have it on, you always see it in the reports, even if it doesn't trigger, but it does not trigger all the time. Example, if you don't have a mage, you wouldn't be able to see it. I don't know if I have any attacks recently that I had my buffs on. Right, I didn't have my buffs on, but here he doesn't have it neither. I have to look, but I know it should be 1, not 2. It feels weird if it's 2. It's too hard. So I don't think, guys, that you can unbind your account. I have a few friends that asked me to ask my VIP guy, the IK VIP, but they never said that we could. But what you can do, I'm pretty sure you can, is even if you are using another login, you can still log in on GT Arcade. You might need to create a GT Arcade login using your current login. I don't know exactly how that works, but I know I had a friend that was using, I think, Facebook login or PC login. I don't remember which one. And he was able to use GT Arcade as well. He had to do something. I'm not 100% sure. The best way to know, I would go into the official Discord for the game, and I would ask one of the mod. Just tag Bjorn, Gwyn, and you're probably going to get a better answer than I can give you. But I think it could be possible to have a login for GT Arcade, even though you didn't create with GT Arcade. The experience on GT Arcade for PC is quite good. I really like it. It's really good. So you made a mistake on spending on tier roulettes back in season 1. I do think it's a mistake, for sure. But again, even though it is a mistake, the way the game works is at the very least, well, you did something with it. If you, example, like one of the, I think, worst mistake to make in this game is to, example, work on an immortal that you really like, that costs money, but then you end up not using him at all. Even if he's in your 4th team, not really doing anything, at least he's there on your march. But if you're just not using him, then it is a bad thing. And there's actually quite a few players that did that with Attila. Attila, and it's not their fault, Attila was nerfed heavily. Attila used to be one of the best immortal. Personally, I was running Charles Athena in my main march way back then. But they nerfed him so bad that even though I put gem on him, I unlocked him with money, he's not doing anything for me anymore. So this is kind of the worst that you can get out of this game when you put money in the wrong places. But sometimes you just don't know. And I don't think it's the worst mistake. At the end of the day, if you have a Theodora is still very strong. And we never know. Like right now, I have a Theodora that is half done. Let me show you. Even I think I can give you my Bjorn as a better example. Bjorn is on my main team. Himiko is on my main team. I have not worked on this immortal since Sparks of Galaxy is gone. My main team could be so much stronger right now if I use my Rune Factory and my Battle Pass currency to put on these 2 immortal, because they are on my main team. But I don't see the value in doing that when I can work for Rune Factory on a Chaos Immortal for almost the same cost. This is the problem with Sparks of Galaxy being gone. I think they're trying to fix it with this new event. Maybe at some point this new event will be very good for Oli and Shadow. We don't know. We're just going to have to wait. First, they need to add a gem bundle. And 2, they need to increase the drop rate for sure. We'll see if they do it. So players that goes from the Conquest season to the Legendary season, when it comes to March setup, the biggest change is going to be Knife Through Butter. Knife Through Butter is a mage and archer worst nightmare. This skill here, if it goes off and actually limit the energy of your Himiko, of my Himiko, at a very good rate, I have situation where I kill their March very easily, and then I fight them, same setup, same skill, same talent, and my Himiko almost do nothing. Why? Because Knife Through Butter went off, reduced my energies constantly. My ultimate went off only 2 times. The only damage I have is from infinite firepower, but that's it. And they destroy me. Just because Knife Through Butter did such a good job. Knife Through Butter from Conquest to Legendary is a huge change. Yeah, so the dragon, I can show you my dragon. Personally, I think when it comes to Oli and Shadow, it's a mistake for anybody that is not a mid spender. Mid spender to me is somebody that has multiple red skill and at least 1, if not 2, Chaos Immortal. That's how expensive and hard to work on the Oli and Shadow Dragon are. But when you were doing Sparks of Galaxy, for example, Himiko or Bjorn, you were getting Dragon Crystal Shard anyway. But now it's a cost of opportunity. All the event, except this one, but this one's not worth it at the moment. But example, Rune Factory, where it's going to be. Here's Rune Factory. Rune Factory, now you need to use your currency to select the Oli and Shadow Crystal boxes. If you do that, then you're not doing a Chaos, then you're not doing your Oli Shadow Immortal. It becomes way more expensive, even more now. I stopped working on this dragon the moment Sparks was gone. I never really worked on them just from Sparks of Galaxy. I also made the mistake of going for Shadow really back then. I would prefer nowadays a Oli, for sure. Oli is way stronger. See, I've also made a lot of mistakes myself, so it's normal. So, Lord Winston here, another question. Can you are you in the Discord? Can you send it in the general chat on the Discord? Just send me your setup and I can take a look. Yeah, so Rune Factory is something new a few months ago. Yeah, so when Rune Factory first came out, nobody liked it. First, it replaced Sparks of Galaxy, so everybody was mad about Sparks of Galaxy being gone, myself included. It took 3 iterations of Rune Factory for Rune Factory to become very good. But now it is extremely good for light spender. You have the gem bundle, you have the $1, $2. I don't think you have the 3, but you have the 5. And the lower, the cheapest the bundle is, the more value they are. You can get a Chaos or Oli Immortal nowadays from the Rune Factory quite at a cheaper cost than in the past. I still think the Battle Pass is quite good when it comes to value because you do your mission, you're going to generate quite a few of these here, and then you can buy one of these. I'm doing Anubis at the moment, but Rune Factory overall is very good. And now it's reset time, so I need to get my... Oh, I need to reset the game first, but it's fine. Do it after. We need to be careful for the bets here. I don't know if you guys have any question on the betting. It would be a good time to ask, but you never want to bet the first 30 minutes after resets. You don't want to do it. You're going to end up losing coins. You're not going to get the maximum value out of your coins. You need to wait. You need to wait for somebody to set the odds and then the odds to reset. When you look at the odds here, it says that the refresher is going to happen in 6 minutes. You have to wait that 6 minutes. And what you want to do on the first day, you have 2 options. Safest option is to wait for the second round. A little bit riskier one is to do it right now, but only one full bet. You do one full bet, and then in the second round, you have enough currency to place 2 other full bet. I like to play a little bit risky, so that's what I'm going to do. But to do that, right now, you need to go into your TOS, and you need to do some of the mission. You need to generate 90 coins here, right? You need to generate 90 of these coins here. So right now I have 75. I'm going to do some of the mission that gives me coins. I'm going to do the one that are pretty easy to do. And all I want is 90 coins. So I'm doing the watch mission. I don't know if I did enough. Can still follow a few more. So should I have enough? So I have a 100. So now I'm gonna wait for the odds reset, and I'm gonna look and see if somebody plays the bet properly. If they did, I'm gonna place the bet, but I will look at the odds first, right? Example here, when you look at this group A, there's already people placing bets. Not a good thing, unless you're trying to set them. But I don't think they're trying to set them. If they were trying to set them, there would be a side with a lot of bets and one other side with not a lot of bets. If you leave it at 0, it's not gonna work properly. If nobody set them, I can try to set them. But to do that, I need to go on another account, smaller account. I need to go on probably 3 small account and set the bet myself. This is not good. Right now, we need to wait 3 minutes, but I can already kind of see if somebody's trying to set them. So far, I have not seen any of the groups set. But if I set them, I need to go on different accounts. So I'm not going to be on stream. I'm going to have to wait because it's going to take some time. I will let you know on the Discord, by the way, if you're in this season. If you're not in this season, you're going to have to do what I'm doing in 2 minutes to try and find the best group. But right now, there doesn't seem to have any. I have to wait. Oops, I need to use some of my SP. Let me go back to the questions. I do think they're going to probably do something about Deep Sea. I don't think Mini is going to play this event until they change it. Personally, the one thing I dislike the most is that we're not able to see the odds. I like to calculate my odds before I play an event. So until we see the odds, I'm definitely not trying it. Once we see the odds, I'll definitely try it to see if it's the expected odds. But even at the moment, I have a few friends that tested it and the value is not there yet. We're going to have to see. I think it's going to change in the future. And if they do the same as Rune Factory, we are going to need to look at the event every time it comes online. Because Rune Factory adds silent patches on it, not just within one of the big patch every month. They were silent patches. The odds change without telling us. the grand prize being granted as soon as you get Rune Factory or Core Factory changed to having to hit the 70 without telling us. So we're going to need to look at this event every time it's coming online. If you are currently a free-to-play and you want to become a very light spender, the best way is going to be a red skill. A red skill is the best thing you can do, because if you get a shadow or team, you are not getting content that is absolutely going to be exclusive to you as a spender. Free-to-play will get to Aeolian Shadow if they want. Free-to-play can get to a Chaos even now. What they cannot get to, or will take years, is a red skill. Red skill is also extremely flexible, because a red skill allows you to change who you're using it on. Example, you get one for Alex. At some point, they release Alex V2. We don't know, probably not. But you could swap that skill to the new one. Overall, red skill is more flexible than Immortal itself, and it's also cheaper. So my recommendation, if you're moving from free to play to light spender, you're looking to what to buy to get the best increase in your account, it's a red skill. You want to buy the $5 bundle on the GT Arcade. You can get, I think you can get it 6 times a week. You want to buy as much as you can slowly, even if it's 1 or 2 bundles a week. You'll get to a red scale at some point, and you will not see a free-to-play with a red scale until probably in 2-3 years, unless they change how you can obtain them. So my 2 cents. You have to remember 2 things. When it comes to artifact, yes, you definitely want to bring them to gold. It depends on your team. Always focus first on your carry. Then I would say your tank. After, it's going to be your support. But you also need to be careful. Example, Quinn. You have to remember, if you do Quinn, the stats is going to increase. Yes, this is going to increase. But overall, Quinn artifact, for example, a Zenobia YSS Alex March, is not that needed, because this is not going to do anything for you. But what you need to remember the most is all these smaller stats here can be changed. You actually need to reset your artifact depending on how much Cinder you have. You don't want to waste too much Cinder as a free-to-play, because as a free-to-play, your Cinder should go towards new skills. But you might sometime want to do it. I can give you some example. I can go into the arena, and I'm sure I can spot a few. Doesn't matter who I look at. I'm sure I can find a few that should reset their artifact just to get better skills. Not too bad. Okay, could be an example. I know it's not a specific artifact, but here example, you get the crit percentage and the crit percentage here. So this is actually a very good artifact. Now don't look at this being the generic one, but when you look at the stats here, you have the crit rate, which is good, but it's quite low. And you have physical attack, which you don't really need. Magical defense, not too bad. Resilience value, not too bad, but this is a carry. If this was your endgame Woo artifact, you would actually need to reset this. What happened when you reset? The first stats is never going to change. It's always going to stay a crit percentage. The annihilation stats here is also never going to change. You don't risk of breaking your artifact. What you risk is losing one of these stats here. So what you want to do is reset it until you have maybe magical damage percentage or crit percentage at a higher level. Example for Woo. If you're looking for an Alex, we saw a good one here. See here, this is a very good artifact because the attack is at 10%. The attack at 10% for Alex. This is extremely good. I don't know if he got this on the first try. Chances are he actually resetted the artifact at least once or twice. Right, 1 second, guys. I need to go back to TOS, see if somebody set the odds. So you go to choose 4, and then you go down the list. Not set. I don't know if somebody tried to set them, but they're not set fully properly. There's a few 5x, but I don't know if Yuki... I think Tan is going to win against Yuki. Not sure. Okay, so Wasabi is definitely going to win. So this is set wrong anyway. I don't think somebody tried to set it. I think they just voted on the one that they want. They thought that was going to win, so it's not set properly. So far, it looks like everybody forgot to set the odds today. It's the first day, so sometimes people wait for the second round. Oh, there is one here. So group S is set. So my group is actually set. So Snoopy just got Medusa. He's a lot stronger now, but Lord Mordor is still probably stronger at the moment. It's gonna be close, honestly. Because he's got turn, maybe it's gonna be close. It's a little bit risky. I don't mind the risk. I'm probably gonna do it, but Snoopy is not weak. She is quite strong now. Our Medusa is not ready. So when you look at an immortal like this one here, you can tell that it's not fully ready. First, it's only boost 28, not 35. The artifact needs one more star here. It is gold, however. Now, this is 8, but you can see with the power that it's not fully maxed out. The dust is only 20. For a carry, I really think 30, 40 is needed. And more importantly, at the moment, she has Eternal Battle Loss that is level 8, which is extremely strong, but she does not have Battle Frenzy. Because there's no Battle Frenzy, you end up with 2 gold skill, which is the best case scenario, but you don't have 2 red skill on your carry. And this is a solo carry. This one is for utility. I think it's going to be quite close, but I think Lord Mordor should win still. When you look at the match history, I think these are stronger opponent, stronger player. But I think yeah, I think Lord Mordor should win. So I'm gonna go for it. So basically, now that the odds is set properly, you look and you want to basically vote on the ones that you're sure is gonna win. If the odds are set properly, they should be at 5x, because as you can see, the betting, somebody went in and betted on the loser first. They placed 90 on the loser and only 10 on the winner. The odds resetted, and then it became 5x, and people are going in and putting all their coins on this side. You have to be careful. Sometimes it's not all on one side. It can be on both sides. But you need to also make sure that this player is actually going to win or lose, right? I can't win for sure. I'm going to lose. Hinda is extremely strong. I don't see her losing. The only one I'm not 100% sure is this one. But I'm going to go for it. Let's try it. So this is what I do. Only one. I don't have enough currency to do another max bet, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait. If I win this, I'm going to be in a very, very good situation, because I'm going to have enough currency to do 2 other max bet tomorrow or second round. If I lose, however, then I get into a situation where I need to use all of the other mission to try and get some coins out of it. Yeah, I'm going for it. I think it's only going to come down for Snoopy against Lord Mora, but I think Lord Mora is still stronger. Even though it's not a Medusa March, this Loki is extremely strong. 261, 50 dust, 8. These are really good too. This is really good artifact. Yeah, I think it's too strong right now because of the Medusa not being ready. So I'm going for it. Only place one. You do it tomorrow again. Frenzy. Battle Frenzy. No, I know she doesn't. She's in my server. She's gonna get it soon. I know she will, but I don't think it's gonna be ready in time for tomorrow. She has multiple red skill, but Battle Frenzy is not one of them at the moment. It would probably be somewhere otherwise. I know she doesn't have it at the moment. So I don't think Snoopy can beat Lord Mordra yet. All right, let me go back here. I have a few things to read. So you're asking me as a free-to-play if it's better to join a passive, probably smaller server, or a well server that you can get a lot of these chests, a lot of the wins that the well is going to help you with. I think it really depends on the experience you want in this game. I personally joined 277 because it's not the biggest server. If you look at our ranking, we don't have at the moment a full Medusa Mega Well. This is a Strong and March. Neo is currently unavailable, but this is the Strong and March in our server. The second strongest is going to be Savage, another Apollo, and you have QG. So Drowser, that changed his name today for some reason, which is another extremely strong March. But we don't have a lot of Mega Wells. I find that a little bit more interesting to me because I can fight alongside the other strong player and have fun. And of course, there's Snoopy here, which is working on Medusa. TBD. Personally, this is the experience that I like from the game, where it actually matters what I do in the game, right? I don't have 20 wells doing all the job for me. If I don't do much in the KVK, it's gonna matter. I need to be present and help my team. But that means when, example, I'm fighting 231 right now, we might lose. We actually have more chances to lose. We're gonna fight to the end. We're gonna have fun doing it, but it's not a guarantee win. Very far from that. Or you can go, example, in bigger server. Come to mind, the big five, in my opinion, is going to be 38, 209, 136, 73, and 56. Probably the biggest server out there. But what happens is, first, as a free-to-play player, you get a lot more rewards for less work, yes. But you also don't matter as much. Not as a person, as a player, right? Because if you are a free-to-play player, you actually don't want to join the rally against another well. You want to leave your strongest player joining those rally. If you join those rally or defend that player, you're actually not helping because you want the biggest player fighting the biggest player. And there's a lot of them. This is where it really depends on your, I would say, how you want to experience the game. What you can do if you're 100% free to play and you're already in a legendary season, if you have the portals, is you can go to one of these big server, experience the feeling, how it goes. It's extremely active, which is fun. You don't want to end up in a server that is dead. You might even stop playing if you don't have any friends to play with. And then you can get a lot of reward out of it. and then you can make a decision. Do I stay there? Do I go to a server a little bit smaller? Personally, I think 277 is a really good match for me and what I want. We are quite active. When we need to take gates or fight, there's between 30 and 50, sometimes 60 players online. We can max a thermal quite easily. We have decent fighters that like to fight. But we don't have, example, Jay here, that if you could go on all the accounts one time, could fill a full rally with full whales, and I could just, like, literally, I just need to watch. It's not the experience I want. Hey, thanks for the feedback, guys. Thanks for the support. I love making content, so I'm going to keep going. If you have any topic requests, you can always let me know in the comments, YouTube comments or Discord. I am looking at the moment to do 2 spotlight when it comes to skill for next week. I'm also looking to start working on the tier list that has been released in the past. I want to revamp them a little bit, especially the chaos one, because the chaos not only was a request, it is a need to do. There's more immortal, there's changes, skills have been added. We need to look at the chaos immortal a little bit. I know it's not for everyone, but it is something that we need to do. And spending guide as well, because with a few of these events becoming more, I would say, light spender friendly, and even free to play, you need to know where you need to spend your gem. You need to know where you need to get your things. So I will work on that. But at the moment, I'm waiting. I really hope they're going to do something about this one, but I might have to do it without really considering this event. But it is something that I was asked to do, and I will do it. But if you have any requests, let me know. Yes, so Snoopy is definitely one of our biggest player in the server, especially because she's gaining Medusa at the moment. She's also quite active. I know she's gonna get Battle Frenzy. I spoke with her, and I also helped her a little bit on the Medusa setup at the moment. So she told me she was gonna get it. So Group V, I didn't went to there. Let me see if Group V is also set up properly. So it seems to be set up properly as well. Let me see. Simba is very strong. I don't really know this player. So if he loses against Plugin, Simba, I think, probably wins against Plugin. So I think this one is pretty sure. This one, though, this is the... Is it his smaller account? Yeah, this is a smaller account, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's BB Cool. So this one is a smaller account, so Rockman is going to win. Dracula should win. And Rose is very strong, so he should win. I think Rose the... Yeah. Yeah, V is pretty safe as well. I think V is, like you said, probably safer than S. I don't think S is all that unsafe, though. It's only Snoopy. But without Battle Frenzy, I don't think Medusa can carry against Lord Mordra. But I don't know if I have any report lately against Snoopy. Here. Even though the Medusa is not fully ready, she is still doing a ton of damage. Look at this here. I lost pretty heavily. It's not always the case, though. But look at the damage from Alex and Medusa. And Medusa is not ready yet. So, pretty strong. Okay, let me go back here. Let me just go back in the text here so I don't miss any questions. So here, Feed the Puppy, I think, yes, Holy Dragon is definitely better than Shadow at the moment. Shadow took a really big hit when they released Fountain of Life. So I already answered 2 cents. So King, big server versus smaller one. So just here, prioritize the red skill and make my fire team stronger. I have Himiko full star since I have a whale helping me on Grail. So it depends. I don't know where you're using your Himiko though, because if you're using your Himiko in fire, it's not the worst, but I think there's better Himiko setup. Himiko in the Earth with the Earth Dragon from testing is a little bit better than the Fire Dragon, but it's not the worst. I need to know a little bit more where you're using your Himiko. But if your Himiko is maxed out versus a Wu, I do think Himiko is stronger. If you're using a Himiko, your best red skill to get is probably Energy Mastery. But if your main team is a Wu, I think Infinite Firepower would be better. The potential thing on the artifact, it's because you are still too early. I can give you more information on it. So if you're talking about the empowerment is going to bring all the stats up. So example here, you see the stats on the right, example 25% here. It's already silver. If I bring it up, it's going to go to 28. This also goes up by 2.5% and all the stats goes up as well. So this is quite good for your main team for sure. You need to bring them to gold. These currency, which is, let me go back. This one here, the Empowered Sun Crystal and the normal Sun Crystal, nowadays quite easy to get. It takes time, but you get them from the Rebel Camp event. I don't know if I have one on the calendar. I don't have it on the calendar, but it's the event that you basically kill Nom camps. You get rewards from it, and then you can buy these stars. You get 10 of each per event. I think the event is once a month. So again, it takes quite some time, but it's very good. You could always buy it from the pack here. They are here. In my opinion, the daily bundles should be for this content here. Chaos, for sure, you must buy it from here. There's no other places. But you can still buy some of them, even though you generate them in game, because it can take quite some time. Second. You're welcome. I do think there's a lot of players out there that really value the power on their march more than the synergy. And that's why often even, you will see a player almost 100k in power below beat a player way above them. The power is important, but not that important. It's more about the skill that you use, the team formation that you use, the dragon, the skills on your dragon, your specialization level. Again, some player, because they want to patch their numbers, are going to max, example, all of these on tanks, all of these on tanks, these, all of these are just useless. Yes, it boosts your power, but what is magical damage going to do on a Bjorn? What is physical damage going to do? More normal attack? Yes. Is that going to matter? Probably not. So that's why you can still beat higher strength players for sure. Let me go back. So M&M Water March is very strong. It is one of the best Water March. I think the optimal best is actually in my KVK. And he's from my region too, and it's Mozart. Mozart March is extremely good. Let me see here. It's not really a water march at this point, but it is using Merlin. So here, again, not really a water march, but it is a very strong Merlin march. This is very, very strong. But M&M is also very good water march. But as I mentioned a few times, Wu, Merlin, Khan, these immortal are extremely good, but they get to a point where they have a ceiling. Here, if you look at M&M, if this was his normal march, but you remove Energy Mastery and Infinite Firepower, it's still a very good march, but you have that ceiling that I'm talking about. You have that ceiling where Merlin is not going to be able to generate enough damage to carry. You need those skills, but this is probably one of the best Water Dragon March out there. I know there's one also in, I think, server 16 somewhere that is very strong. Again, Red Skill is a big patch. It helps a lot of small immortal issues. So if you already have a very strong fire team and you have Himiko from a friend helping you in the seasonal event, you have, I think, two options. You can remove your Wu for Himiko. I don't think it's the best option in this case. I would keep Wu as my main carry, and I would use Himiko as my main carry in my second team. However, I would probably not finish maxing her. Once she's at spec 8, use her as the main carry on your second march and stop working on that project. You need to start working on a project that will at some point be in your main team. That can be Ninetale. That can be Bjorn. You need to work on a project other than Himiko soon. I can give you the things. Can you give? If you OKG, if your question is if you can get it, you will need to confirm. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been in season 1 for a very long time. But what you want to do is simple. Go into your bundles, go into the daily ones, and see if you see these items. If you see them, start stacking them right away. It's very simple. For this one here, for bronze to silver, you need 40 of them. If you do this one from silver to gold, you also need 40. All gold artifact requires 40 of each. For the red one, be careful, it's actually 60. Chaos Immortal, you need 60 of this from bronze to silver, and you need 60 of these from silver to gold. As you can see, I already have 60 and 60 because I will do Anubis very soon. I actually got kind of lucky, and I was able to get yesterday this artifact for my future Anubis. Now, I really like the resilience. I do think in the current meta, until there's a better release for Mage, low-key is still very strong. But I do think physical defense is a little bit better because you fight a lot of Ares, Alex, and Medusa Apollo marches. But still, it's not the end of the world. Resilience helps against crit. What I don't really like, however, on this one is the dual anti-synergy, I would say. If I have resilience, I would have liked the HP. If I had physical, I would not have mine physical or HP. But with the resilience, I prefer the HP. But still, it crit. I'm happy about it. It's a percentage. I was really happy about it. Fighting Master. Oh, Fighting Master is my all-time favorite skill. It's my all-time favorite skill. I've been using it since day one. As soon as I figured out how well it does in PvP, I think this skill is actually in every first or second team. If you're not using it in your first or second team, you're probably making a mistake. Just saying, you probably are. So you want to probably get at least 40 of each item for the artifact, OKJ, because you want to give it to your main carry first. So example, I remember you have a Khan carry team. You want to do the artifact for Khan. The other ones, you can always do it slowly from the event. It's going to take you some months. But as long as your main carry has the artifact to gold, you're already in a good spot. So guard and flat physical is not the best because it's flat. But it's also not the worst. If it crit, at the very least, what you can do is at the moment, you can use it. My Fufei, and again, Fufei I was also lucky. Athena I was also lucky because at the end of the day, I did not need to go over the limit. You don't want to run into a situation where you're doing a Chaos Immortal and you have to go over the limit because all of the other is so expensive and you don't have any use for it. I have a friend, he's doing Apollo and he ended up doing like 30 Apollo artifact. It's such a big amount of wasted money. You don't need 30 Apollo artifact, but if he didn't get one to crit, it just has to keep going. So I got lucky. I'm happy so far. I don't want to spoil it, but hopefully my next Immortal on the Chaos side is going to be okay on the artifact. Personally, I think it's the most stressful thing to do is the artifact of a Chaos Immortal. The feeling of having to craft more than the needed requirements to max one, it's probably disgusting. I'll probably write to the IKVIP guy and cry about it. So for low spender to get red skill, I don't have a video per se on that, but it's not hard. You need to buy the GT Arcade $5 bundles for coins. So in the GT Arcade, you're gonna see a bundles that only give you, where is my coins? Only give you this item. It's $5 and I think it gives you 6 coins if I remember correctly. 1 second, I'm gonna confirm. 8 coins, is it? I think it's 8 coins. $5 for 8 coins. Let me just confirm on my side. Where is it? Yeah, so it's $5 for 8 coins. You can buy this 6 times a week. It is the best way to get a red skill. You don't have to max out the bundle every week. You do it as you can. You will get there at some point. And to give you an idea, it depends heavily on your luck. But overall, from experience, it's almost 1 coin per elixir or so. I'm not the best, I'm not the luckiest person when it comes to these events. So with 300 coins, I should be able to unlock a new skill, given my experience. So example here, to unlock a new skill, you need 60. So you need 300 elixir. At 300 or so coins, you should be able to. Now, don't forget, red skill are different. To level up a red skill, you need more coins. You need more tokens. So example here, I have Divine Blessing, that is level 6. To go level 7, I need 40 of these coins. So I will need to keep using my coins in the event to get elixir. And I will need 40 more coins. So around 200 is something divine coins to get 200 Wisdom Elixir. But it is the cheapest way. All right, guys, it's almost been 2 hours, actually more than 2 hours. Send me your last few questions. I'm going to have to end the stream soon. The Discord is still there. You can send questions there. Submission, I'm sorry for the submission, guys. I've definitely been slacking. Been quite busy lately, so I need to catch up on the submission. If you have a very important question, ask in the general chat. I know a lot of players are helping. Everybody's helping each other. Tag me as well. I can give you my recommendation on it as well. I am planning to go back on the submission and do a lot of them off stream, off video, of giving you the best setup given what you're giving me. So example, if you're sharing a Alex March and I see that you have, I don't know, Blade Vortex, well, I will recommend you another skill instead. I will do it in text so that I can get to almost everybody quickly because I know they've been stacking up and I'm sorry about it. So let me read a few more questions here. Yeah, so the reason why my Fufei is not finished is because Fufei was added to the seasonal event and she also was... and also this box here was added, right? So I'm going to buy it now. So because this box was added, I stopped on doing the Fufei and I focus on this box. And in Rune Factory and Battle Pass, I switched to Anubis right away because here, if I look at my artifact for my Fufei, I would get a little bit more stats, but it's not game ending. Where if I can get my Anubis into a good spot, I really want to try and speed up my Anubis progress because my Bjorn, I'm not working on it anymore because of Sparks of Galaxy being gone, and E is not in the best spot. E is 8, but here, this is not maxed out. It will take me a long time to work on my Bjorn because I need to work on my Himiko first. I need to move him away from my main team into my second team as soon as possible. So that is why I didn't finish my Fufei. I'm going to do Anubis to a decent specialization level. I'm going to give Anubis artifact to 3-4 star as well. Then I will finish my Fufei. Yes, I am very excited about Anubis too. Anubis, I think, is very good. E is performing better than I expected in a lot of the marches. Here, a good example is Savage. He has a very, very strong Apollo, but at the end of the day, his Apollo is not fully finished yet. And you look at his Ninetale, yes, it's 8. Yes, it's a good artifact, but still only at 15. Now, Anubis is quite high, but he destroyed me with Apollo easily, and Anubis is helping him a lot in that regard. I'm really looking forward to try Athena and Anubis. I'll have to test it out. And I can also do something that I like, which is if I fight somebody that does not have Queen or Khan, and I find that my Athena is struggling because of their magical damage, I could always try Anubis and Bjorn and see what that does. It's going to give me a little bit more flexibility. So my 2 cents here, you have a good question when it comes to your focus, right? So you're telling me that your Alex here is not or almost all done except the resilience. But the resilience is actually quite important. But I would say you want to max your Quinn and your Xeno and your YSS to 8 first. If you're struggling because you don't have enough of these books, do them to 8 first because this is a good upgrade on all of the other 3 immortal, and then come back and finish your resilience on your Alex. But yes, the resilience is good and needed even on an Alex. It will help a lot against Himiko, a lot against Khan, Wu, Medusa at some point if you fight Medusa. So this is very good. So for KVK, I was going to stream. I wasn't too sure if I was going to stream on last Tuesday. But the thing with streaming on live for fights, it needs to be a decent KVK. I think this one is quite okay to stream. I don't mind that we're going to get destroyed. To give you an idea, when the gate opens, I think it was on Monday. So when these gates opens on Monday, we went and we fought against 231, right? We went here to try and slow them on this city take while another team on our side started to work on this side. I probably got flown like 5 or 6 times within an hour or so, right? They started attacking the city. I went there, tried to hit a few people. At the end of the day, I got flown by Medusa's players. But it's fine. One thing that you need to understand about this game, and I'm sure you understood that already, getting flown in this game is not the end of the world. This is not, example, Rise of Kingdom, where your troops, you get zeroed and you cry for all the money that you lost. No, here your troops are protected. You're not going to lose any skill. You're not going to lose any immortal. You get flown, you lose some of your troops. You can train back. At the end of the day, you have a limit on your troop training ground. You can go over it. It's fine. Don't worry about getting fly, guys. Just take the hit. Sometimes even it's better to get flown than stay there and lose more. You take the flight ticket for free. And then what you can do is you can come back and put a bubble. They can't hit you anymore, so you can help a friend. Or what I did is I start using... Where are my random TPs? I started using random teleports. Go anywhere on the map. There's no cooldown on random teleport. And then I try to be lucky and find somebody that is slacking. Basically somebody that is at a city, not there, and then I'm going to zero him. This is definitely something that you want to do. Example here, Terra can do this very effectively because right now we don't have an agreement with Terra. If that change, we'll see. But Terra is fighting red and blue. If a player wants, he can go into this zone and start using random teleport. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want my players to be attacked. But I can tell you in this zone, which Terra has access to, there's a lot of players that are sitting there unbubbled. This is a mistake that a lot of players makes in KVK. They get a CT example here. They think it's safe to stay here. Example, this player. He thinks it's safe to stay here. Well, it's not. It is not safe. Somebody can drop here and zero this guy. Somebody can drop a random teleport, get lucky, get here, and zero this guy. Be careful in KVK, guys. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal if you get flown. The one thing you want to be very careful is if you're one of your strongest player in your alliance, if you get flown in KVK, you have to remember that there's a cooldown on your teleport. So if you get flown, you're one of your strongest player, you need to wait 15 minutes to come back to help your team. Within that 15 minutes, your team might be all dead. So you need to be careful about that. Other than that, I get flown all the time. I have a question here. So you're deciding between double tank Bjorn, Anubis, or Anubis Alex. You're working with a Can and Fufei. Honestly, I think both are very good. It's going to come down to your skills. If you have a fully prepared knife through butter level 7 on your Alex might be better than your Bjorn. Because the knife through butter is just such an amazing skill against caster. But I guarantee you, if you fight, example, the Medusa, I'm pretty sure the Bjorn Anubis is probably going to do better. If you fight, example, a Merlin, it could probably still be the Alex. Wu, probably quite even. What I do like about double tank, though, is that double tank gives me such flexibility on the skills that I can bring with my setup. Because if you go Alex, you're basically stuck on 2 red skill here. And then you can do Wind Rage. I personally, when I use Alex, I don't even use Wind Rage. I actually use an Aura in Spring of Life, especially because I have Athena. Athena protects my healing, guarantees Springs of Life to go off. At the end of the day, my Alex is not there for damage. I think you should test it out. What is nice if you do both right now, example, I have my Alex as the main carry in my second team. I have Athena. I can always bring back my Alex to my main team to test it, to try something. Yes, my skill are not high enough, and that's the reason I don't do it quite often. But once they are 6, 7, I could always do it. Top 3 stats for important specialization for front row. Front row, do you mean tank or attack? Random teleport, guys, is such undervalued. I have people that give them away freely. I take them all. If they want to give it to me, I take them. I use a lot of random teleports, and the thing with random teleports, it's better when you're losing. Because if you're winning, example 231, they're winning, we don't have a lot of player staying in this zone on bubble for no reason. We know this zone is dominated by 231, so we're not there. But in this zone, a lot of players on bubble and don't expect Terra to come fight. But Terra can come in this zone and zero them anytime they want. Even if they get zeroed, if they are able to kill off 3 players, it's worth it for them. Random teleport guys are really undervalued. There used to be a lot of ways to get them. It's not as easy to get them anymore. But I value them for sure. They're fun to use too. So you already have all the red skill that you need, missing just a few. So I do beat Alex Marches for sure, even though they have Knife Through Butter and fully prepared to level 7. But sometimes I lose to them. Here you see I lost to Sammy. I don't know, and I also had my talents. And look here, he destroyed me. It's not even close. But usually me and Sammy goes pretty even. Right here I won. Don't have a lot left, but it's quite more even most of the time. Right here I was the one that was a little bit more excited. What is happening here is all about Knife Through Butter. This March is quite consistent because I finally mastered my Fufei. The chances that this low key is gonna crowd control my Himiko is quite low. It all comes down to Knife Through Butter. If Knife Through Butter excel and really you get lucky and the 60% goes off every time, every 6 attack, it's a lot of energy that is removing from my Himiko. And this will make the difference. But my March is a lot more consistent because I don't rely on Knife Through Butter. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Yes and no. Why? Because Knife Through Butter is an excelling skill. But yes, sometimes it might just not work that well. It's because of the percentage, right, guys? Because when you look at the skill, at the end of the day, there is a 60%. Yes, Alex does a lot of normal attack, but you can deal 100 attack. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't trigger, well, you're not getting the reduced energy. So your Knife Through Butter is not doing a lot of work. There are a few skills that are very essential to bring to level 8, but there's not a lot of them. I don't think most skills for mid spender light spender, definitely not free to play, that in a year or two get the red skill, should max it to level 8. And this is a common mistake that a lot of players were making earlier when the red skill was first released. And a lot of them are starting to fix it. I'm going to take Sammy, good friend. I'm going to highlight a mistake. He knows it. This here, level 8, is extremely good. But he got this to level 8 before some of the other skills were properly leveled up. So example here, he doesn't have Divine Blessing on this team yet, but he's working on it. I think it's like level 4 or 6. But Divine Blessing would be at level 7 if only, I don't know, one of these skills were level 7 as well. I think the way you want to look at red skill is until you have all the level 7 skill red skill that you need on your main team, do not work on any level 8. You want to work on your level 8 when your red skill is going to start dripping to your second team. This is when you want to max out those skills, not before. Even more so, I actually kept Fountain of Life level 4 for almost a year. You don't need level 8 on most of these skills. It slows down your next red skill. But yes, at some point you need to do it. You don't want a level, like here example. It's a good example. Because I was planning to use Alex in my main march, which is why I have these two skills. But I switched when I saw that the chaos was discounted for Athena, so it became a double tank. I stopped working on them right away. Why? He's not on my main team. I'm not working on somebody red skill that is not on my main team until these are done. Once this is level 6, I will have two options. Finish Night Through Butter to 7, finish Fully Prepared to 7, because it will allow me to use them in my main march when I want to, or start working on level 8. I might have another side project. I don't know if I will do Medusa at some point. So if I do Medusa, I will leave all of my skill to level 7, and I will start on Battle Lust. Why? I need Battle Lust. Before I get all of the other skill to level 8, it's going to take me years before I start working on Battle Lust. And they are okay at level 7. They're performing quite well. And the way, again, I'm not the biggest spender. I spend the weekly bundle, the $5 that I mentioned for the free-to-play, the light spender, every week. But I don't do more than that. I don't do the $10. I could. I don't do it. I am very efficient. I'm trying to lower the cost to the bare minimum when it comes to the divine skill, divine coins. So I only get the $5. That's why I liked it when there was 10 or 8. In the past, you could buy it 8 or 10 times. Now it's only 6. It's quite a big adjustment, but it's fine. It's going to take me longer. I'm okay with that. Yeah, so for now, you cannot reset red skill. So if you have a red skill level 8, and example, this is a good example. Here, when you look at Snoopy, he was using a Khan or Himiko with Energy Mastery and Infinite Firepower. The moment he switched to Medusa to his main team, well, his Energy Mastery and Infinite Firepower are now skills in the second team that Medusa is not going to use. So here, example, if these were level 7 and one more level 7 here, well, Battle Frenzy would be at level 7 as well, right? He would be way stronger with Battle Frenzy at level 7 and these two to level 7 instead. They're way stronger for sure. But it's not that much of a mistake. He made a change. He didn't know he was going for Medusa, or she didn't know she was going to Medusa. She went for Medusa. Way better upgrade. I love Medusa. It's just gonna take time. It's okay. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Again, if you have any question, any topic requests, just let me know. The Discord channel, I'm going to put it in the YouTube comments right away. We are really growing. The community in the Nika Nika Nik Discord channel is booming. I think more than 250 now. So definitely use it if you have any recommendation. There is a channel specifically for that. And I did cover quite a few of the requests lately. So I do have time to cover some of them. Just let me know. I hope you enjoyed the night, guys. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.